Hey, my friend, Dr. Lee Warren back with you for some more Friday self-brain surgery. So grateful to have you here doing this hard and holy work together. Today, we're going to talk about something that's really important because all of us do it all the time. We're going to talk about straightening up your self-talk. You talk to yourself more than you talk to anybody else. At least if you're normal, you do. And oftentimes that self-talk isn't very kind. So this is an operation that you can learn and you need to practice whenever you notice yourself ganging up on yourself, when you're beating yourself up, when your automatic thoughts are excessively negative and you're agreeing with them, when you doubt yourself, when you blame yourself, when you harshly criticize yourself, when you ruminate over things from the past that you wish you'd done or hadn't done, you're feeling shame, guilt, or other self-esteem issues. This is an operation called the self-talk switch. It's going to help you straighten up that self-talk, and it's important. Now, every time we go to self-brain surgery, just like in the operating room when I perform normal brain surgery, we take a second to scrub in. So when you just scrub in for a second, get rid of anything that's distracting you or keeping you from being fully focused and present. You're going to work on this problem of self-talk just for the next 5 minutes or so, okay? Little 5-minute self-brain surgery here. So whenever you're going to scrub into surgery, get yourself clear, get yourself present, ask God to help you recenter your scattered senses. And then we're going to do a timeout like we do before every operation. You want to name what you're doing and understand it. And this operation is about when you realize that you're not being very kind to yourself and you want to change that. The goals and benefits of the operation are to identify and interrupt negative self-talk, harmful self-talk, by switching to empowering and constructive thinking instead. This is going to shift your brain's focus from being threat-based to being opportunity-based. You don't want to be reacting and worried about threats and hiding and protecting all the time. You want to be looking for opportunities to make things happen in your life, to help others, to be there for your family. You want to improve your problem solving. You want to help regulate your emotions and foster resilience. And getting your self-talk squared away will help you because multiple neuroscience studies have revealed that repeated negative self-talk creates and reinforces synaptic circuits. Those are those connections between neurons that are related to stress and anxiety. So the more you negatively self-talk, the more stressed and anxious you become. When you intentionally switch to positive or at least neutral self-talk, now I'm not talking about being unrealistic or giving yourself a pass for things that you ought not to be doing. I'm talking about being realistic and being at least neutral. When you're frustrated, even with yourself, use constructive words, use true words, and encourage yourself instead of condemning yourself. And when you do that, you harness the power of neuroplasticity to create and encourage new and healthier connections that will wire in, according to Hebb's law, neurons that fire together, wire together, and they're going to create more useful automatic thinking patterns. And that rewiring is going to automate how your brain processes stress, and you're going to start perceiving yourself less as an enemy and more as a friend, or at least an ally. And your baseline internal conversations are going to become kinder. Guess what? There's some scripture around this. Psalm 19:14. This is David in the Old Testament. He says, "Let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in your sight, O Lord." So he's saying, don't just be pleased with the things I say or do. I want you in my head too. I want you in my mind. I want you to be pleased with the things I ponder and think about. Why? Because the 10th commandment of self-brain surgery is that thoughts become things. When you beat yourself up all the time, it's really hard to have a productive, high performance, spiritually healthy, emotionally and physically healthy life. So you want the words of your mouth, but you also want the meditation of your heart to please God. So invite him into your self-talk. Don't have a conversation with yourself that you wouldn't have if you knew the great physician was sitting next to you listening in. Okay? Matthew 22:39 says you should love your neighbor as yourself. We don't have as much trouble loving our neighbor and loving God as we do loving ourselves. But remember, God died for you, friend. He would have come, if it was just you, he still would have come. So love your neighbor as yourself. Jesus said that. He also said, Matthew 12:34, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. So you want to know why certain things come out of your mouth? It's because you've been pondering them inside. You don't just come out with something you never thought about before. So the internal architecture of your daily thought life creates what comes out of you. So when it comes to how you're going to treat yourself, rehearse being kind to yourself. Another verse, when a person speaks, his words show what is really in his mind. That's Luke 6:45. In Psalm 19, David asked God to help him not only speak things that please God, but also to think thoughts that align with God's will. Remember, God said, if you delight yourself in the Lord, I'll give you the desires of your heart. If you line your will up with his will, things work out better. Jesus' teachings emphasize that loving yourself is as vital as loving others. And that reminds us that self-compassion is a core value for God. He wants you to love yourself. These passages underscore that our thoughts shape our speech and actions, as I said earlier. And this tells us that we need to nurture positive inner talk. You need to straighten up your self-talk, friends. So how do you do it? First, biopsy the comments that you most frequently speak to yourself. And if you're not sure, start journaling them. Think back to the last 2 hours, the last 6 hours, the day that you just had, and write a few things down every night. 1 or 2 things that you commonly said to yourself. I have several of them. Anytime I make a little mistake, automatically I say, you big dummy. Hey, moron, why'd you do that? I say these things. Even at 57 years old, I still do it. So I need to write that down. Don't call yourself a moron, right? I called myself a moron today. I had a podcast interview with a guy named Steve Cuss recently. I can't wait for that episode to come out, and I'll share it with you. One of the best interviews I've done for my book, the new book, The Life-Changing Art of Self-Brain Surgery. And Steve asked me this question about self-talk, and he said, how often do you say bad things, negative things to yourself? And then he went on to say that he creates what he calls a moron score. Every day he asks himself, how many times did you call yourself a moron today? And he has to keep track of that because it's a problem. So biopsy your comments, write them down and journal them, and then pause and be aware of the negative and critical things that you say to yourself. Call it what it is. Be honest with it. Tell yourself the truth about it, because that'll diagnose the extent of the problem. And then run a scan. Ask yourself, when was the first time I thought that thing about myself? Go back in time and remember why it is that that particular phrase, that thing you say to yourself, comes out. When was the first time you felt that? I know why I call myself a dummy. I remember the moment where I accepted that label about myself. I remember I was 8 years old when it happened. I've told this story before, but go back in time and identify that time where that negative self-talk came from. Ask yourself, what was going on in my life when I decided I deserved to talk to myself like that? And remember that negative self-talk often reflects underlying shame. It's something you're ashamed of that comes out in the way that you talk to yourself. Judgment, unforgiveness, those kinds of things, they're typically sort of underlying the things that we say to ourselves that are negative. And even though the feelings may seem real, remember, the second commandment of self-brain surgery, feelings aren't facts. They're just chemical events in your brain. Then the third step, sever the sick synapse and switch it to something healthier. Remember, you can visualize having sort of a mental scalpel, and you can go into your brain and you can cut the connection between whatever it is that triggers the self-talk and the words that you say to yourself. And then you're going to replace them with something healthier. You can't just stop a habit. You have to replace it with something else. So start journaling it. When I have this trigger, when something occurs and I usually call myself a moron, or I usually say this to myself, instead, I'm going to cut that synapse. I'm going to see myself severing it, and I'm going to attach that trigger to a different outcome. We're going to redirect that neural impulse. And then over time, that's going to wire in with Hebb's law and become the new automated response. See yourself surgically removing the diseased negative thought and transplanting in its place something healthier, more realistic, and more positive, or at least neutral. Okay? You're going to train that practice. You're going to rep it. You're going to run that play over and over, and you're going to remember the 9th commandment. I must believe that what I'm doing, I'm getting better at. So if you commonly say something to yourself like, I never do anything right, replace it with, I get better at what I'm actually doing because God gave me neuroplasticity and Hebb's law will work for me. So I'm going to stop beating myself up, and instead I'm going to start coaching myself to improve. And finally, practice every day. Use these statements. Replace the negative self-talk with something constructive, something consistent with Scripture, something consistent with how God feels about you. If you can't love yourself right now, start remembering what God says about you. And if you don't know, go to the Word. Look it up. Ask a friend to tell you some true things about yourself. And in accordance with Hebb's law, as I said earlier, these truths will become wired into your self-talk over time, and you'll become stabilized as somebody who says kind and truthful things to yourself instead of harsh, negative things. And if you have a hard time wiring this in, if it seems hard, it's been shown really well in neuroscience studies that when you're trying to make a mental habit, if you combine it with a physical action, it gets into your memory and practice a lot more healthy. So something like if you're thinking about loving yourself and being more kind to yourself, Think about how you would treat a friend. You might put your hand on their shoulder. You might shake their hand. You might give them a little embrace. You might put your hand on their knee. When I'm in the exam room giving somebody some news or trying to encourage them, I often lean in and put my hand on their shoulder and I look right in their eyes and I say, hey, here's the deal. Here's what we got to do. Okay? So think about yourself like you could give yourself a little hug, or you could just sort of physically shake your own hand. Put your hand on your knee like you were talking to a friend and say, hey, I'm going to encourage you here. I'm going to connect this physical act to the change in the behavior that I'm trying to make. Take a few deep breaths, or place your hand on your chest, or do something to kind of surgically create and connect a sensory action with this new thought. That'll help you wire it in and make it more tactile and more real in your life. And then remember, what doesn't get documented didn't happen. So make sure you keep an op report. Take a piece of paper or use one of the journals from the book, one of the documentation pieces from the book, and write down some of the negative things that you commonly say to yourself. Physically cross out each phrase and write a note of how you transplanted a new statement in its place. If you spend some time doing that, especially quiet time in the morning, that's the most powerful time to create a new habit, your dialogue is going to change over time. That, my friend, is how you straighten up your negative self-talk. Thank you for doing this hard and holy work with me. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. If you haven't read my new book yet, The Life-Changing Art of Self-Brain Surgery, it's available everywhere books are sold, or you can click on the link in the notes below. We're excited to have you with us for Friday Self-Brain Surgery. Grateful for you, friend. Please share this video with a friend who needs some help straightening out their self-talk. We got some exciting podcasts coming up next week. On Monday, the Ian McGilchrist episode drops, the part 1 of that episode. I can't wait for you to meet Dr. McGilchrist. And I'll see you next Friday after that for some more self-brain surgery. God bless you, my friend. And don't forget, you can't change your life until you change your mind. And the good news is you can start today.